Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is October the 5th, 2025. Hopefully this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Hopefully you've had a good Sunday, a fun day, if you will. My day was different. It was a day of working, and chore running, and all kinds of stuff. But we'll go ahead and just do the rundown of it, and I'll share my thoughts and feelings, and yada yada yada, and then we'll segue into some news. You know how this goes. But yeah, we woke up nice and early, and I don't know. I automatically woke up and I said, you know what I deserve for being such a good guy and going into work on a Sunday for some money that I need because I'm broke as fuck. You know what? I deserve a treat. So I'm up like an hour before even my alarm, I think. And I'm like, yeah, we're going to go to McDonald's. So we went to McDonald's and I got myself an order of hotcakes and a sausage McMuffin with the spicy sauce and a hash brown. And I took it home. And I ate this meal for my breakfast, my slutty little breakfast. And I gotta say, in some ways, it was everything I expected and wanted it to be. And in other ways, it was a weird letdown. And the letdown was that damn spicy sauce. I thought the sauce was boss. Last time I talked about it, I was like, look, rave reviews, loved it, flavor enhancer. I would definitely like it on more things, whatever, yada, yada, yada. I had great things to say. There was something about it this time, though, that I was like, you know what? After this, I'm not ordering it like that anymore. But overall, it was fine. There really wasn't anything drastically different about it. It just didn't hit the same. Maybe it just didn't have that new twang in my mouth anymore. So I just was like, whatever. I want to go back to normal, actually. So yeah, that was a bit of a meh. Then the hotcakes were the hotcakes. I'm not right. I'm not going to sing home about them. They scratched the itch that I wanted to scratch. So I'm not, I have nothing to say about it. And then for the hash brown, since I was home, I mean, granted, I could have asked for barbecue sauce or something like that, but I put on some barbecue sauce, and the hash brown probably was the MVP. Low key was the glue that held the whole thing together on that Spider-Man like web shit. Like, that was the hero for real. But it was fine. It was not the smartest, best way to start my day, but I was just feeling impulsive. I was feeling fat. So what can I say? Here we are. So ordered that, hung out at the house for a little bit, then went to work on a Sunday. And it felt weird. Like, in some ways, don't get me wrong, like, obviously it fucking sucks to be working on, the weekend when I'm supposed to be chilling and relaxing or just doing other things, not working. But it was nice that no one was there, like, for the most part. Like, I generally got to be unharassed, left alone. I will say, though, that sometimes, and this happened today, where like a reach truck operator will come and they'll drop off a buggy and they'll talk to me like I'm a fucking idiot. And then that makes me talk to them like they're a fucking idiot, or I will get mad at them or be weird with them. And so I don't like that. But yeah, essentially they were like asking for a buggy as if I didn't know that was like my job was to free them, like to free up the cardboard so they have the buggy. And, I'm like, yeah, man. Like, and I just hit him with the default, yeah, man, it'll be 5 minutes. Like, do you want to wait or do you want to get out of my face? Like, it's that shit. And they go, oh, okay, thanks. And I just look at them. Like, you know what I mean? So that was a bit annoying. Also, it was weird, too. Like, I could tell the topsiders were getting anxious about something or whatever. They had some kind of plan within a plan. And they kept coming down to check on me and talk to me about asinine shit and make sure that I was doing the job that I was obviously going to do. And I'm like, okay, all right, hi, bye. Like, so that was a bit annoying, but like, once again, overall left alone. And that's going to segue us into our second food corner moment of the day. We got donuts. I love free donuts. Yeah, so that we're back. We're so motherfucking back for donuts. And I'm getting my usual. I'm maximizing, as I always do. Nothing has changed about me. New year, same motherfucker. No, I get the big giant cinnamon roll and I got the big bow tie. Pretty much that is gonna be my default every time, as long as they give it to me, as long as it's available. Other smart motherfuckers are also getting cinnamon rolls. They're getting for cinnamon rolls. So as long as I'm getting there, at the right time, I'm getting mines. Just know that. If not, it'll probably be like a blueberry thing or something like that. But once again, I like to max out. Cinnamon rolls are huge, and the bow tie it's a bow tie. You know how that goes. So yeah, yummy as always with Nas energy drink to wash it all down. Makes the toil feel a little bit better. But yeah, overall, it was a chill work day. We're talking 5 hours, so low key, I was kind of in and out. After that, we went to the gym. Gym was good. We had a good heavy lift session, good cardio to go with it. So yeah, nice way to close out the week. I will say after the gym, we go to the grocery store, and this was like the thing that actually started making me upset because I go to Kroger, expecting this to be a little bit, low key. Granted, I know I'm not, at the top of the day, but like it's towards the end of the day, there shouldn't be as many people there. I'm thinking, right? And overall, I think I was right in that regard. But there's this like picked clean feeling in the store, and I went to go get my goddamn nuts. I went to go get my goddamn nuts, and they were stripped bare. They didn't have my coconut almonds. They overloaded on praline, so I'm guessing they ran out and then just restocked that. But there was no mangoes. There was no chocolate cover, the sea salt cashews that I like to buy, the chocolate cover sea salt cashews. So I'm like, what's going on? Like I'm low key in panic mode right then and there, and I'm like, what do I do? So I start tweaking what my snacks are gonna look like for the week, and I get some like honey roasted almonds. I get some chocolate covered pretzels because that's like all I could kind of make do with, hawk to with, and I'm just like, all right, that's gonna be snack for the week, whatever, fine. And then we get through the groceries, but I was not happy. I was not pleased. I think I'm going to have to, I don't know, come up with a new game plan on how we approach the groceries, or just bite the bullet and know I'm not going to get my special little treats that I love so much. But we'll see. I'll keep you posted. You know that. You know me. But yeah, I mean, that leads us back to home. And here we are. We're chilling now. We're ready to yap. And that's what we're doing. So yeah, overall, it's been a good day. It's been a good week. Crazy that we started so like pressed, like money wise. I was robbing Peter to pay Paul type shit mode. Like it was not a good vibe, not a good feeling. So I wanted to say a special shout out to anyone listening who helped out with that in any way, shape, or form. Anyone who's supported me, thank you so much. So a little mwah, kiss on the forehead, because I needed you, and you did. You answered that call. Some of you without even asking. Thank you. You're the best. Love you. But that some hard work. We were able to make it through this week. Also, it's just weird to take a day off from podcasting and working out. That was weird. That's an adjustment. And sucks too that I know I'm gonna have to do that a bit here and there throughout the next few months, but so it goes. Obviously bear with me, y'all. I love y'all very much. I appreciate y'all for sticking along through the highs and the lows, the ins and the outs. I'm gonna try to keep this shit as consistent as possible though, because I think it's important to me, and I hope that you guys care about that too. I don't know, and I want to give it to you. Zay gonna give it to you anyway. All right. Let's do our startup, and then let's get into some news. Oh man, the urge to yap is always so strong. I actually, low key, while we're doing the startup, I want to talk about the Mark Sanchez thing, the guy who got stabbed but was also in an altercation and got arrested. NFL analyst Mark Sanchez. Yeah. If you're looking for a solid readout, you can go to the Independent. They have the story. I got to read it there, but I don't have it for the episode, but I'm gonna riff it. So we've gotten some more details. We don't have a name, but the other person involved, who I now would believe is alleged to be the victim, was a 69-year-old man. I believe, doing some kind of work, some kind of job, but essentially picking up some cooking oil, maybe like used cooking oil kind of situation. And his vehicle, I think it was like some kind of box truck, was parked in a way that maybe it might not be super duper legal or whatever, but essentially parked in Sanchez's way. And Sanchez, who I believe was intoxicated, confronts him on this. And, it's an altercation, and it gets more and more heated. And Sanchez is alleged to have made it physical, starts roughing up the guy. At some point, the older man, also it's worth noting, Sanchez, once again, former football player, 38 years old to the 69-year-old, who's getting hassled. So at some point, the 69-year-old busts out pepper spray, hits him with the pepper spray. That does not, it deters him a bit. He wipes it off and then proceeds to re-engage. So at that point, we are clearly, in my opinion, a self-defense situation. And I think that's what law enforcement and, prosecutors or whatever all kind of came to the conclusion of. Yeah, this makes sense now why the guy pulls out a knife, the 69-year-old, and, proceeds to stab Sanchez. Now, at some point, like I said, there's lacerations to the worker. We're going to say, I keep wanting to call him the 69-year-old. But I'm assuming that is from the knife. So obviously a really just fucked up situation, but that's so crazy to me that Sanchez was that fucked up or that hostile, A and B maybe, that he was like, nah, I'm gonna fuck up this old man for being in my way, blah, blah, blah. You know better? It doesn't matter right or wrong there. You're completely out of pocket for doing that if that's how this shit fucking went down. You know what I'm saying? So I don't feel bad for Sanchez at all here. Oh, damn, yeah, you woke up in the hospital and now you're fucking in some legal trouble. And granted, we're still talking misdemeanor, so I'm sure he's going to be fine. But, low-key, with fucking behavior like that, why am I seeing you on TV, bro? Go take that shit. Take that energy to UFC. Maybe you'd be good at it. But then again, you got fucking sprayed and then fucking spayed. I don't know. Maybe not. Anyway, I wanted to kind of get that story out of my system without actually covering it. So there we go. Kind of a little riffy mode. But in contrast, I think we're going to read out this whole story here. From Al Jazeera. Al-Shabaab fighters killed in Mogadishu prison assault. Somalia confirms. All 7 attackers who stormed a major prison complex in Mogadishu have been killed following an hours-long gun battle in the largest such assault on the capital in recent months, the Somali government has said. The al-Shabaab group attacked Gadka Jillo, an underground prison complex known to hold fighters from the armed group, on Saturday. The government said the assault began with a car bomb blast, followed by the exchange of heavy gunfire and explosions which rang out across the city, with 3 members of security forces killed during efforts to quell the attack. In a statement, Al-Shabaab, an al-Qaeda affiliate, said it launched the attack to free some of its members from prison. A Somali security official at the prison told Reuters news agency they heard a huge blast at the cell gate and soon an exchange of gunfire started. More forces were deployed to eliminate the fighters, he added. The Somali state media said the attackers used vehicles painted to resemble those of the country's intelligence agency and wore uniforms to those of its military. This enabled them to easily pass through the control checkpoints protecting the capital's security, as armed forces vehicles are not subject to formal inspection, the Ministry of Internal Security said in a statement. The attack took place just hours after the government reopened dozens of roads across the capital for the first time in over a decade, with Prime Minister Hamza Barre citing visible changes and improvements in the security situation. So that's gotta fucking suck to say some shit like that, and then the prison, which is right next to your fucking presidential palace, is getting hit up by fucking Al-Shabaab. That's not a good sign. It's not a good fucking look. Somali's federal government had been battling al-Shabaab since 2007. The group is considered by the United States Africa Command, or AFRICOM, as the largest, wealthiest, and most lethal Al Qaeda affiliation or affiliated organization globally controlling large swaths of southern and central Somalia. In recent months, al-Shabaab has overturned government gains after it launched a major offensive in the regions surrounding Mogadishu and captured several strategic towns, including Adan Yabal, a logistical hub for the Somali army, nearly 200 kilometers or 124 miles north of the capital. Amid major losses for the Somali military, the country's national security advisor, Hassan Sheikh Ali, stepped down in July under unclear circumstances. Between January and July this year, almost 6,000 people were displaced due to the fighting between government forces and the armed group in Somalia's Middle Shabelle region. A report by the Africa Center for Strategic Studies this year said Somalia accounted for a third of all casualties across Africa linked to groups with ideological ties to al-Shabaab. In March, al-Shabaab attacked Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mohammed's convoy in Mogadishu while he was on his way to the airport in what he said was the fifth attempt on his life by the group. The government last month said an al-Shabaab member responsible for the attack was killed in an operation by the country's intelligence service, NISA. The attack on the president's convoy was followed by a period of relative calm in the capital despite the deteriorating security situation in surrounding regions. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and leave it there. But yeah, I felt like this was a pretty big situation, an attempted prison break. I mean, it was thwarted, but like the levels that, al-Shabaab went to try to make this fucking happen was pretty fucking extreme. And there was loss of life involved too. So, I would call this a close call all the same. And I would agree that this is not a good look for your, newly reinforced security, right? Like, you might want to, go back to the drawing board. You know what I mean? So yeah, starting off with a bit of a bang. Sadly, we are moving on to another from the Montgomery Advertiser. That's a heck of a title, heck of a site name. Montgomery shooting, actually, I'm not leaving any shade there. Hell yeah. Shout out to MA. Montgomery shooting leaves 14 injured, at least 2 dead downtown. At least 14 people were injured and 2 dead after a weekend shooting in downtown Montgomery, police confirmed. An incident that Montgomery Police Chief James Grabois described as a mass shooting event happened about 11:30 Saturday, October 4th, near the intersection of Bibb and Commerce Streets. MPD Lieutenant Tina McGriff said an adult woman was among those killed and at least 2 juveniles were injured, one of whom suffered life-threatening injuries. In total, 3 victims remain in life-threatening condition and 9 sustained non-life-threatening injuries, McGriff said. Police did not provide Police did not provide identities of those who were shot. Detectives are actively pursuing leads and reviewing evidence, including witness statements and surveillance footage, McGriff said. We are urging anyone with information related to this incident to come forward. Even the smallest detail could be critical to helping investigators identify those responsible. They list some numbers that you can call. Alabama Crime Stoppers, I'll at least say that one, at 334-215-7867. I'm sorry. My bad. Fuck. But yeah, it's believed that 2 parties were involved. Like I said, they don't have any suspects identified. They're not talking any kind of motive, what motivated the situation. It's just sad. It seems like just another weekend night, and then yet again, you just have 2 people or 2 groups of people with the ability to say, hey, I'm going to maximize aggression right here, right now, and they whip out a fucking firearm and start using it. And then the other side does it, or, and so on and so forth. And here we are yet again, coming out of the fucking abyss. So it's a bummer. It's very sad, but hopefully I can come back to the story with, more information. That would be good. But definitely, I went through on this one and looked through the gallery of the night, and it's like, once again, it's weird just because it's something that could happen anywhere in America, and that's what's fucking happening. It's anywhere in America, any given fucking day, any goddamn night, and you just don't know. And I feel like you're hearing that, I just don't, this just doesn't happen in our quiet, sleepy town. Like, low key, that's becoming less of an anecdote that people motherfucking say, or at least a thing that people say after these fucking things. Because we all know that this motherfucker could be next door, it could be your neighbor, it could be, whoever. It could happen any given fucking Sunday. So, I'm not saying that that's a good thing. Obviously not. You don't want to see people more acclimated to this fucking shit. You want to just see less of this happening. You want to hear less of these fucking stories, but so it fucking goes. But let's go ahead and move on. More stories that I'm sick of fucking telling from Politico. Newsom to sue over Trump sending California National Guard to Oregon. And if you were listening yesterday, I'm sure you heard me say the little breaking news that, there was a judge that said, hey, you can't do that. And of course, Trump just goes, fuck you, and does it anyway. Because he also knows that, like, it doesn't matter what the judges are saying. Whatever is going to happen, he's going to fucking kick that shit all the way up to the fucking Supreme Court. There's going to be maybe some kind of emergency thing, or they're going to hear it on a shadow docket, whatever. And he's going to be either allowed to do it or not. But regardless, he's going to do it. You're not going to stop him. So here we fucking are. President Donald Trump deployed 300 California National Guard troops to Portland after a federal judge blocked the president's call-up of Oregon's National Guard. Gavin Newsom said Sunday, vowing to sue the Trump administration in response. And I think he definitely pulled from the California National Guard on purpose. Like, I think he did it to be antagonistic, and it's just, a matter of convenience. Sure. It's a win and a win. Let's see. The California governor argued the move, with troops on their way to Portland on Sunday morning, flattered the Oregon order, which I would fucking agree. I'm going to skip his dumbass quote. I don't really care. Fuck him. But yeah, I mean, this is unfortunate, but not fucking surprising from the Trump administration to just say, okay, cool, we're going to leave you on red now and do what the fuck we want. Because they're not being opposed, not really, not truly. So, it's fucking annoying. It's fucking unfortunate, but, we're going to be here to cover that shit. We're going to be here to give you updates on that shit. That's how we fucking do. And by we, I mean me. I like doing the royal we thing. I don't know. The rest of this it's kind of some, I don't want to say, not side stories, but a bit of headline hunts. I wanted to kind of just cover some things I was seeing. And just kind of put a bit of fence post or so, and we'll maybe get back to it, throughout the week. But from Reuters, I can never fucking say that shit right. I think it's Reuters, whatever. Almost 1,000 trapped on Tibetan side of Mount Everest by blizzard. Let's see. Rescue efforts were underway on Sunday to clear access to campsites on Tibet's eastern slope of Mount Everest, where nearly 1,000 people have been trapped by a blizzard that has blocked roads, according to Chinese state media reports. I mean, we could go yada, expound on that a little bit more. I don't think it's really necessary because hopefully we're going to be coming back and there's going to be more people saved, and we're not going to be coming back and that more people or anyone has died. So let's knock on wood for that. Let's put that into the universe for this week. Let's fucking go. Let's get those motherfuckers off the mountain. Yay. And then let's see. Let's take our last break and then we'll just literally close off on a headline about the Israel-Gaza situation, because that's kind of been going on, throughout the weekend. Kind of was supposed to be a big moment today, but we'll get to it. So, literally just reading the headline here from Axios. Trump pushing Israel and Hamas for Gaza deal within days. Now, this has been an ongoing thing. We have talked about it throughout the week that there was like this 20-point deal or whatever. Is Hamas going to agree to it? Well, Hamas has more or less said yes to the dress. But Obviously, there's been some stipulations. They want to make some changes. They want to actually sit down and talk about it. I think the biggest thing is they're not fucking disbanding. They're not gonna, actually lay down arms or anything like that. I think that's a major fucking stipulation from Israel. I don't think they're gonna come off of that. Also, I believe that they wanted to say, hey, your withdrawal plan has no structure. Like, it's very blobby. It's very amorphous. Like, we need to see something actually concrete before we say yes. I think there might be more things that they're also opposed to as well. But we already know how Israel has conducted themselves up to this fucking point. Do we think that they're actually going to abide by, do you think they're actually going to abide by what Trump wants here? Because essentially Trump is really pushing this shit. Also, God, I wish I had it. I have it saved, but I don't have it queued up. But there's this headline, a conversation between Trump and Netanyahu. And he's just Trump to Netanyahu is essentially saying, you're always so negative. And it's just this idea of Trump being so annoyed, having these backroom ass fucking talks with him in the Oval or whatever before they talk about blah, blah, blah. And he's just man, I just want to wrap this shit up. Could you wrap this shit up, please? You keep just being, it's not over yet. No, it's actually not so good. And Trump is they said yes. They said yes, dude. We can make this shit work. Please just make this shit work. I want this to be over because I want a Nobel Peace Prize. And if I get to say I did this shit, I brought peace to the Middle East, he wants this shit so bad. But also he's not willing to actually put in any real work. He wants just Israel to kind of be compliant and do their genocide on the low key and just be chill and pull the shit back so we can call it good. But Benjamin Netanyahu, his fucking right-wing party, the goddamn military, none of these motherfuckers want to slow down. They, as they like to put it, their lawnmower is up and they're ready to mow the grass, so to speak. So they're down to just keep doing atrocities. They want to keep doing war crimes. They want to keep killing people. It doesn't stop for them. They don't want it to. So that's why this fucking ceasefire was designed the way it was. So do I think we're actually gonna get something? No. I don't. That's just me being fucking point blank flat out about it. No, I don't. That's why I don't want to actually sit down and go through a whole ass fucking article tonight. I just don't want to. I don't think it does anything, and I think that it's bullshit. I think it's vaporware that's being sold here, which is unfortunate. It's really fucking sad because no matter what side of this fucking shit you're on, you want to see peace, right? We are coming up 2 days from this shit going on what now, year 3? And it just seems fucking never ending. And, I do think, I know people are tired. People want this shit to be over, but yet it's not. Yet we continue and go on, and the killing continues and goes on. So I would on this one, I would love for fucking Donald Trump to be right. And that we actually are within striking distance of this shit, days of this shit being resolved to at least some capacity, and we're actually going to have a ceasefire ironed out that we can actually go along with. But do I believe that? Hell no. No, I fucking don't. I sadly don't. And throughout this whole fucking process, as Trump is fucking posting on True Social, yeah, peace is going to happen. Hamas said yes, we're going to make this work. Israel has continued to bomb Gaza. They're still pushing all their fucking plans. The operations have not fucking stopped. So, am I optimistic? No, I'm just fucking not, sadly. But I would love to be fucking wrong, and maybe this is a week where we actually see something happen, a positive thing fucking happen. Fuck, man. So yeah, that's really all I have. The government shut down the thing still. I'm not counting that shit. I don't give a fuck. I mean, I do give a fuck, but you know what I mean. It's just tiring, bro. And it's crazy that these motherfuckers can kind of sit and act like they're fucking doing something when they're not doing anything. It's they're just kind of waiting, or and then a certain amount of time is gonna pass, or enough people are gonna boo you, depending on your party, and you're gonna cave, right? I mean, I don't know. So there we are. That's all we got for today. That's the episode. I'm not chilling. It's Sunday. You know me. So thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love you. Bye-bye. Mwah.